is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Tyrants of the Underdark, which is a game that I've had for a long time. I mean, you said it was 2016? That feels...
About right.
No, it feels like way newer than what I thought it was.
Well, I know you've had it since we've been dating.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, 2016. Awesome. Good deal.
She made it up. The card's like.
So this is a game. Great. I love when my dogs bark. This is a game that incorporates both area control and deck building, and was actually the second game behind Aeon's End that actually turned me on to deck building.
Oh yeah.
Because I used to hate it.
So I know whenever you reference we get a new deck builder. And you always kind of compare it to Tyrants because it's like this is the game that you measured against.
It's because of two reasons. One, when in the rule book, it literally says, because the thing about deck builders is they always seem so abstract. You know, I just bought this card. Why don't I have it immediately to use? Lost Ruins of Arnak gave you a thematic reason. Well, this one says the story behind minion cards. When you play minion cards, you are assigning those minions to some unspecified missions, represented by the actions and resources they provide. While not an actual part of the gameplay, you could imagine these missions as a variety of tasks and adventures. While minion cards are in your discard pile, those minions are out in the Underdark doing your bidding. When you reshuffle your discard pile into your deck, they are returning from their missions. Then, when you draw them, they have returned to your stronghold and are ready for you to send out on more missions. It just fixed that disconnect that I've always had with deck builders. That I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is so stupid. It's not thematic. Boom. Immediate. It literally has no effect on gameplay, but just that snippet alone solved it. And then that allowed me to get more into deck building. But yeah, I absolutely love this game. It's such a fantastic one. And actually, we're going over our top 100 games of all time, and this is on the list.
For this being the first deck builder I've ever played, I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great, because this can also turn some people off because it's also area control. You know, it's a battle game where you're fighting for the different regions and killing troops and supplanting them and constantly battling. Like whenever we kept battling for the middle, I'm just like, okay, the only way I can keep up is I need to generate that 3 points at the end of the game. And I can't stop Devin from generating points because now I need to kill Marcy because she killed my people. So great, someone else kill Devin because I can't do it. And that's great to hear. Yeah, this was the first deck builder. Yeah, I guess so, because you only play games with us, and we haven't touched one yet. So Devin, Kat, what do you guys think?
Of this?
Yeah. No, just what games in general. How are you?
I have depression.
Good.
So this game is just great because it makes me feel alive. No, I like this game.
Awesome.
He's good. He's fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's weird because the board is so small and I'm used to playing big, gaudy games. You can tell that this is a time from when gaming was,
Actual meant for like a normal tabletop.
Yes, yeah.
That is true. This was not Kickstarter.
Oh, fucking imagine
What a
that.
surprise.
Like, oh, it's so spread out.
Right.
And oh, look how
everyone
pretty all
has
this
miniatures. It's just
like it's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
It costs $5,000.
Yeah, it just goes to show that solid mechanics will always overshadow gaudy visuals.
Sure.
I mean,
True.
because the saying is, it's like table presence is what draws people, mechanics are what keep people.
That's a good way to put it. You should coin that.
I can't. I think I got that from someone else.
Oh,
but they probably didn't trademark
Did
it.
they copyright it?
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true. I said that. You heard it here first.
That's very appropriate.
But that's true. Like, if you were to see this game, you'd be like, eh. But of course, if this was Kickstarter, every faction would have their own Drow minis.
Right. It's good that they keep artists employed, because they do need to be paid for something. But but at the same time, you need good designers. They need a job too.
Exactly.
Because I like the board. Like, I like how it looks. It's foggy. It's creepy. It reminds me of that one really big underground place in Skyrim that you go and you have to find like the red Nern roots.
Blackreach.
Yes, Blackreach that you get fucking lost in. But it's pretty.
I would say I agree with you. When you just kind of glance at the board, you don't really see a whole lot of detail. But when you do actually look at it, it's
there's
just like
mushrooms down there.
Yeah. I will say the game could be a little bit more vibrant. Like the colors could be a little bolder.
Right.
But they add theme the snippet I just read.
Yeah.
All the flavor text on the cards, and then I was reading a little bit the appendix over all the locations. Even they have ones even for like those Stone Shaft, whatever.
It's cool how it's based in their universe. It's like they already have a lore for all of this, so they're just copy paste, put it on your rule book. All
and that's
set.
a good way to get people because they see that Dungeons and Dragons logo and they're like, oh, okay, well I like Dungeons and Dragons, or I want to like Dungeons.
And you're kind of and you're almost hesitant because you're like, oh, it's an IP. This game is probably.
Yeah, because I saw the Dungeons and Dragons, and we'd gotten the Dungeons and Dragons board game at one time, and
they are not fun.
No, I couldn't learn it.
Yeah, they are not fun.
Was it the Giants game that he hates?
No, it's probably like Castles of Ravenloft.
Yeah.
I was like, they have like there's like 3-box series of those, and it's supposed to feel like D&D without actually playing D&D.
Gotcha.
I didn't like them at all.
It's just not the same.
But yeah, you're right. It's like you look and you're like, oh god, this is probably gonna be just a cash grab game, and it's been solid ever since I've had it. And it's a theme that no one ever touches. No game touches the Underdark, and it's cool. The Drow are cool. They're ugly, but they're cool.
No, some of them look so fucking neat.
Some of them do really cool. Do really cool.
They do
look really cool.
It was mainly the ladies that looked really awesome.
Well, it's like the ladies rule their society.
Yeah, they're the ones in charge.
Yeah,
these whips right here, it's actually for subjugating the males.
Hell yeah.
Those
Is it really?
Yeah, they use the snake whip. So like if they're like out of. If they step out of line, they actually whip them and it paralyzes them for a little bit. Like all the snakeheads bite them and they're like paralyzed. And
yeah, I've played a few D&D sessions where we were in the Underdark, or I was like Drows around the world, and it's a really cool concept. This game isn't as supported as I would have liked. Like I think they've had one expansion which came with 2 factions, so the game has a total of 6 factions. And when you set up the game, you just take 2 of them, shuffle them together, and that'll drastically change how you play. Like we played with. Go ahead.
Did I say, because we played with the Drow and the Dragons. What were the other ones?
You have, let's see. It is Elementals and Demons. Elementals have a focus ability, which become more powerful if you have many cards of the same aspect. And Demons feature Insane Outcasts that you put into your opponent's deck and they're negative points. So, and they devour your own cards. So you can help thin out your own deck. So you start getting the really good cards that you paid for, but you also can make people take Insane Outcasts, which are negative victory points at the end. And then I don't remember. I don't think I have like it came in a small box of what the 2 did, but one of them's Abyssal and
I know how to speak Abyssal.
Undead. It was. Oh, sorry, Aberration.
Nope.
Aberration, so there's a beholder.
Oh, cool.
God.
Assassinated troop, gain power for every 3 troops in your trophy hall.
Ooh.
He's worth 3 points just in your deck, and then 6 otherwise. But then, and then undead. I don't remember what exactly their MO was. But yeah, so the game does have a lot of replayability just because you can take Drow and undead, and that's going to change kind of avenues of victory
even
points.
doing both the Drow and the Dwarves all over, the Dragons,
Yeah.
all over again. Like, I would just do things differently. I'd use my spies a little more. Because my problem was I didn't have enough white troops to demolish in my area.
Right. Yeah, those are kind of cards that you want to... I mean, there were still some white troops over here. Devin never messed with... Oh, you actually
I just never got
supplanted
close to them because I didn't use my spies.
Right. Yeah, this is one of those games that you kind of want to do at least a little bit of everything. You and I definitely could have benefited a little bit more from using spies. But I wanted to, especially for the run-through, I wanted to try and demonstrate how balanced this game is. Like, I actively avoided using spies and just went full power build to see if it would hold up against you, who was only using spies.
You literally tied.
And we literally did. We tied.
Yeah.
So it's...
You guys worked your asses off to do it. But
That is true.
me and Marcy kept you in check.
Yeah.
We were just annoying, just in the way.
You were
Like,
just
I was
kinda there.
constantly
I'm
removing
like, I'm
one.
sorry I have to pick on you. I don't want to pick on
I
you.
ran out of spaces to go in my own spot.
It's got an interesting growth, I have to admit, because it's really neat because we all kind of get our own slot. But then, like, we grow, we're just kind of attacking the white troop that's unaffiliated, and we eventually, get to the end game where we're all like, it's just us.
Yes.
So we have to start fucking on each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the nature that we played it. Like, we set it up to where it's like, okay, so I'll put one closer to me, Kat puts one closer to her, and then so on and forth. There's nothing from stopping me from you placing your starting thing there and me starting over here. And immediately...
Or, all 4 of us starting in the middle there.
Well, you have to do the starting black spots, but you could easily do here, there, and then there. And then, immediately start the clash.
Yeah.
But I think we all showcased just the sheer balance, and it does truly come down to strategic deck building and the area control. Because it's really cool. This game isn't just like accrue points, and I always like this method of scoring versus a track of like, I control this 4 points, because it's not just you controlled literally these major areas, which helped you buy a lot more cards. So then I had to go a route of controlling all the other different sites, and then control the middle. That was the only one that I had to accrue 3 points at the end. And I had to sit there and be like, Marcy, don't take it from me. Don't do it. Don't you do it. I mean, it's just extremely solid deck building, area control. That's not. I don't feel this game is like assholey, in area control. Because I remember you saying you don't really care for area control games.
It's just that I know that they can rustle up quite a few ill feelings, especially
Right.
like in a group, and it's like, who's attacking who, and
I think
when are
if
you
they
doing
played-
it? And it's like, you two are a couple, or that whole thing.
I think
Right.
if Marcy hadn't been here, then it probably would have turned into one of those like, okay, it is going to be a classic Devin and Seth battle, and then I'm over here on my side of the board like,
Right.
blah, 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 just moving myself.
Right, and I will say that this game does still lend itself to that. Like, if you have someone who doesn't want to attack someone, and it's like, well, this just isn't the game for
Because
you.
me and Marcy had to get involved.
Yeah,
Right.
it's inevitable. For you to get points, you have to start killing other people.
I do like how it's like natural growth is that like you aren't really like if you start battling with someone super early, it's both at your disadvantage because you're both working against each other
Right.
so early, and then while someone else is like, I'm not fighting anybody, let me just spread out over here, and so it's just like you want to spread out, fill it all the way up before you start clashing.
Yeah, especially us, the theme representing different Drow houses. It's like, well, it's probably not smart to make an enemy at the very beginning of the game, because I definitely don't gain anything from it. And then even with the different cards that are coming out, where you devour, I thought I had a card that let me devour one, which I wish I had. I wish I had one because you got that stupid green dragon that, thank God, you never got to use it.
Oh man, what did he do?
Lets you supplant 2 troops and
He would have been the perfect leader of my team.
I think he was also 8 points at the end of the game.
He was 7 if he was
Oh,
a leader.
okay.
Yeah. Place a spy, then supplant a troop at that spy's site. Return one of your spies, supplant a troop at that spy's site, then gain a victory point for each site control marker you have.
Yeah.
So then, bam.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh shit! Okay, he's gonna get it. Hopefully he just doesn't draw it."
So the point in devouring cards was just to get them so nobody else could get them?
That's
It just milled the...
and it also
Yeah.
mills the deck. If there's one out there that you're like, well, I can't afford any of these, or none of these I want, but I can devour, then I'll try and thin it out to
Yeah,
hopefully
because
get
I
some.
never used the devour
there it is.
aspect of that card.
Yeah. Or for that particular reason, whenever someone's going a particular build and like a green dragon comes out and you're like, we cannot let him have that.
Right.
Or let me have whatever I was doing. It's like, okay, let's just remove it. No one gets it. So, yeah, for a game that's 5 years old at this point, that, with standard deck building, this is your standard deck building. You have a market row, you have every card, like everyone has generic cards that you can buy. It's so good.
That's right. It's balanced.
Does anyone have any negatives about the game? Because, I don't really have any negatives, besides your standard what's going to come with an area control game if someone doesn't want to fight.
I mean, that's with every area control.
Right,
So.
right. So,
You have to be in that mindset, unfortunately.
I
You just
don't
to
really
be
have
ready.
any negatives.
yeah.
I
do-
would like the names of the towns to be spelled out phonically.
They are. They are in the appendix. That's how I knew how to pronounce them. That's what, because the Sarazny, that's how I knew how to pronounce that. And then Chichittle.
Chichittle.
So, and I do really like the lore. I guess my only negative is they quit supporting it. This is Gale Force 9, I think, is the company. They just kind of, well, all right, that's that.
Well, we've done it. We made a game.
Let's see. Yeah, they came. It is Gale Force 9. I'm actually going to look up what the. Yeah, and the expansion came out a year later, so it's been 4 years since they've. So let's see. It doesn't say. The undead heed the summons of spellcasters who call them from their stony tombs and ancient battlefields, or rise on their own accord in places saturated with death and loss. Aberrations dismiss all other creatures as lesser beings, toying with them or destroying them as they choose. Well, that doesn't really tell me exactly what those factions do, but there's the thematic reason for it. The other thing I really like that I always enjoy, and there's other games that do this, is the fact that you have to make a conscious decision of promoting. Which is, it's like, okay, well, this card's really good, but I can promote him for 5 points, but he's out of my deck.
Right.
And it's like, because you had a decision of putting your red dragon, and you're like, that's 8 points, but I really want to use him.
Right.
And I like that. I always like that secondary
Yeah,
thought.
because I had thrown my bounty hunter in immediately because I was like, well, I really don't know what else to do with him, but he's worth a lot.
Exactly. And it's a cool thematic tie-in to have an inner circle within your Drow family. So, yeah, everyone kind of like omitted something. You didn't touch your inner circle at all. Went spy heavy. I didn't touch spies and went power control heavy. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else. The game's solid and combines both deck building and area control in a really, really good way. Yeah. And for Marcy's first deck builder, and ended up enjoying it.
Yeah. Deck builder.
It wasn't your first. That's a
no,
total.
It's like baby's first.
Oh, you get a lock of your hair and put it in a book.
Yeah, one of my firsts.
Get one of her teeth so we can keep it in a baggie and put it in the box.
And eat it later.
And eat it so I can suck on it.
That's some of the gum.
Ew.
And you wonder why I don't come play games.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, unless anyone has anything else to say about the game,
Okay.
You should play it.
you should play it.
Play this game. It's great.
It's not Kickstarter, so you can find it.
That's good.
Yeah, right. It's not going to be $1,000 if you do find it.
I did enjoy this before. Yeah, I think I liked it a little better than when we... Did we do it at 3?
We did it with 3 last time.
Yeah, I did like this.
And with the lower player counts, you you'd lose sections of the board. So like that's what these like. So in like a 3-player game, like one half, like this section's not in it, so you have this half.
Oh,
and
that's what these dotted lines are.
Yeah. In a 2-player game, you just do the middle.
Oh, okay.
So it does scale to the number of players, but still in a 3-player combat area control game, someone's in the middle getting fucked.
Or off to the side, not being paid attention to.
Right.
It's a Mexican
that
standoff.
pretty much. Because we've had that before with area controls. Devin and I are going after each other, and then Kat wins because we didn't affect her in any way.
It's bothering me.
So yeah, this was. I mean, and let's see. Does it say how long it says on the blocks? Because our 4-player game kind of took
Longer than an hour.
2 hours. It says 1+ hours.
Well, yeah, 1+ it did take more.
I would say though, even though it took 2 hours, it didn't. For me, it didn't feel
About
Yeah,
3
it-
minutes a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Right.
didn't feel like it was 2 hours.
And it makes
It kind of
sense.
flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did because it's fun.
You're engaged the whole time, and
Yeah.
even if it's like even if you're getting people killed, it's like you're not out of it.
Yeah, it makes sense that it's going to be longer because like there's just no way that we're going to run through the deck. Well, we're going to run through the deck more, but we're not going to place our people all at once as fast because
Yeah.
our options are limited.
In fact, yeah, I had to make a conscious decision to
Yeah.
actually end the game because I was like, shit, like I don't know if I have any better way of generating points, so I might as well. Actually, that is kind of a slight negative. It's more annoying because, like, the person who ends the game can kind of get hosed because it's like,
Because
okay,
we've all got another turn.
you all get another turn, and it's like, okay, well, he's out of the game, so I guess let's I'll take over his spots. Like, well,
Yeah.
okay, well, he has control here, let's take over that, and I can't, like, get those back.
It
It
Right.
was
It's
like
just
the bridge. I was like, oh, that's mine now.
Exactly. And I would have won. That would have been 3 more points. But yeah, so that actually is more annoying than I think.
Like when you're that close, any little thing is like, I would have won.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Like
if you'd put your dragon in your...
Like when
in
you
a-
talked her out of attacking that zone, and I was like, that would have done it. Or,
Oh, right.
Or whenever, just any little
Right.
thing.
That's true. That's yeah. Whenever I was like, Marcy, please look, he has 40 points over there. Just please attack him. You're right. Whenever it's always a tie, you try to look back and think, oh, what if I did this? But yeah, that is actually, now that I think about it, a really shitty way. You don't want to be the one to end the game.
But I mean, like, also,
How else would you end it?
it's gonna happen eventually. Like, your
Yeah.
shit's gonna come off the board. Eventually, we are all gonna have one last turn.
Right. I would probably say the best way of ending it is the minion deck runs out. Because then everyone gets one final turn. But even then, it's like you stop, then it's like,
It's
oh,
the
ha.
person-
You only get those last 5 cards that you drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You don't have the card you wanted.
Oh, good, all nobles or something.
Yeah.
Great.
Guess
That's
I'll buy
true.
a card.
That's true. They try to compensate it because it's like, let's say I ran out of people, but I still had ways to place troops. If you are able to place a troop and you can't, you get a point for it.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, if I didn't literally have the perfect hand to run out of exactly the barracks that I had, like I could have actually just waited for a good hand and then end the game and then get like 5 more points with by deploying troops. So that's kind of a way to compensate. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's really no way to fix it
Yeah.
the way that everyone. I mean, I guess the only way to fix it is you do okay, that end game happened. Boom, game's over. No one gets a final turn.
But then everybody else would be like, but I have my hand.
Yeah, right. It's like, wait a minute, why did you?
So
get
I mean,
the
like
final
it's
turn?
and I would have been the only like person who would have been like, okay, I can at least try to do this because I was the very, 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 very last person.
Yeah, it's essentially like, okay, if I get hosed, and it's like, okay, you fucked me over. Devin, please fuck Marcy over. Cat, please fuck Devin. Like it's just, or Marcy, please. Like you just, everyone tries to screw each other over at the very end.
Because you're
so-
just trying to get as many points as you can.
right. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on the scale of 1 to 10, let's go with Marcy.
An 8.
An 8. Awesome.
That's what I was gonna
Awesome.
give
That's
it.
what I'm giving it too.
Yeah. How about you, Devin?
I am.
Where do you?
Yeah, like I was torn between 8 and 9.
I'd probably say 9 because you really like the theme.
I do
with
really-
the, with
yeah,
the
that's true.
Drizzt,
I'll give
with
it
the
a
You know a
Drizzt
lot
books.
about it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool because I was like, I remember whenever
It's
I
like
was
the one series I've ever read.
the whole series, and apparently you're behind by
I am
books.
actually grossly behind.
What?
I'm like 2 trilogies behind now.
Whoa.
Oh shit!
Because, like I said, I stopped after the Gauntlegram. Was it? No, it was Neverwinter. After the Neverwinter saga, because Triss dies at the end.
What?
Yeah, he dies at the
Spoiler.
end of Neverwinter.
Yeah, right.
No, they retcon him
Oh, did
in
they?
the next ones. That was I knew that.
Spoiler.
So this was a
Oh,
book
great.
series in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
Wow,
going.
still going.
It started with the Crystal Shard, and
36 books is how many there are.
I'm in
Right
the
now.
20s somewhere.
Oh, it began in 1988 and consists of 36 books as of November in 2020.
Yeah, and I'm not even including the Caterly the Cleric Quintet, and then the Sellswords, which is its own trilogy, and then the Quintet is obviously 5 books.
Oh,
So I've
gotcha.
read those 2 because they tie into Dress's main story later.
Oh, I see. They're like side
Yeah, the
stories.
Sellsword is Artemis and Tiri, which is like his kind of his rival.
His lover. Oh,
No,
his
not
rival.
lover.
Rival.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
then
they call
Caterly's a very powerful cleric that eventually does some big shit at one point in the.
Gotcha.
Got some big
And
stuff.
I mean, your big thing was the Salvatore was able to describe combat like really.
Oh
well,
yeah,
right?
he does combat really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I struggle with combat in books. I
Right.
Can't.
I
No, I
start.
get
I lose where I'm
I
at.
start to
lose
zone
interest.
out a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Well, it's
I
interesting
can
because you
barely watch
look.
Star Wars because of that.
You watch shows and you're like watching like a big battle in Game of Thrones and you're like, how is he gonna write this? Like, how is he gonna incorporate this action scene?
Because it can only keep me enthralled for so long. I only watch Star Wars for Harrison.
Yeah, Wheel of Time just kind of mentions a bunch of like moves, like blade moves that he does, and it's just like,
They'll do that.
All
for
right.
me.
Just the old sing sizzler and
yeah,
the old
right,
wiener
winds
whistle
beneath
and
the blade,
old
and then he
meat
turns.
chopper, the old dick punch.
It's not even that; it's literally titles to weapons and birds of feather, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I guess I'm hoping he's just like.
He pirouettes and it's just.
No, it's not even sword
it's-
terminology.
Oh,
it's literally like a move is a cryptic title, and you're like,
The old.
I don't know what he's
Dragon
doing,
song.
but he won. So yeah,
So you-
it's not my greatest way of combat, but yeah, I think I wanted to play this game specifically with you because I was like, oh, he just read all the Drizzt books, and this is in the Underdark, and I didn't even know Drizzt was a dark elf or a drow. So Devin gives it a 9 because of the theme, and then the rest of us are sitting at an 8.
Yes.
Fantastic. I would say though, always play this with 4.
Don't you ever play it with a different number. We'll
Yeah,
come
otherwise
after
you
you.
sinner.
Like even numbers.
Yeah,
Or
2 wouldn't be horrible.
Yeah, especially
Um,
since it scales to that, I feel like that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
So then you
I
just
don't
got this
think it
little
would
robe.
be too bad just with 2.
Yeah.
Right. But I like the 4. Like,
Well, yeah.
it just works out a lot
Seeing
better.
a full board is always exciting.
'Cause
Would it just have a solo mod?
It does not.
Trash game. Throw it out.
if it came on Kickstarter, it'd have some ham-fisted, forced solo mode.
Where your AI is like already winning it.
Listen, I don't have any friends, so I'm not going to buy your game if it doesn't have a solo mode. A solo mode, you milk-drinking nerd. So, anyway, you guys got anything else?
No.
Cool. So that's our thoughts on Tyrants of the Underdark. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.